Hello, this is Matthew. I'm addressing the two witnesses and the second woe and the seventh trumpet. So let's look at this. Revelation 11:7 says, "And when they shall have finished their testimony," of course speaking of the two witnesses, "the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies be put into graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." Okay, what has just happened? 1,260 days has gone by. The two witnesses have been doing their thing, witnessing, and they come to the end of that period, which we agree, most of us agree that this is the end of the 70th week, i.e., this is the second half of the 70th week within 1,260 days of that end part of the 70th week, which is good. We agree on that, I hope. And then there's 3.5 days of death, where they're dead, whether after or leading up to or whatever. It's right there at the end of the 70th week. And then what happens? "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." Okay, so the issue that you have here is 1,260 days, 3.5 days, and then something surprises the hoo-ha out of everybody, and they're terrified. Then it says the second woe is past. What just passed? What's past? What woe? What woe just happened? Well, you had a beast killing the two witnesses. For the people on the earth, the woe was all of these terrible, the stopping of the rain and all the things that the two witnesses were doing to them. This was a great woe for them. And then it's also a woe for the people that are affrighted. It says in verse 13, they're affrighted because of the what's happening with them coming back to life. So there's a woe going on here. This all has to connect. The third woe has to come next, it says, and then the seventh angel sounded, which is the third woe, which we agree on. I believe most of us agree on that. So the question is this tied into the woe? The second woe is past. If not, what is the second woe? Well, you'd have to go all the way back to what the first woe was and then figure out why it didn't mention a second woe back there. The first woe is mentioned directly after its event that it applies to. The second woe is exactly the same. It is applied to directly after whatever the woe was. It has to be the events of the two witnesses. I'm not going to believe differently. It has to be. And so then the seventh trumpet goes with the second woe. And then the second woe goes with the end of the 70th week. So the 70th week cannot be a midpoint. That's just how it is. It's in the text. So anyhow, I'll talk to you guys later. I can stop this thing.